like this. We have to accept the fact that the RSS leaders do not make off-the-cuff remarks on things like that, on which are very important. So something on like this would definitely have been said by the RSS after some kind of a deliberation by Hosabale would have definitely had some kind of informal conversation that it's okay to rake up the issue at the moment. I do not think that Mr. Modi would be very happy with Mr. Hosabale making this statement at this particular moment. So I am going to be keeping a very close eye on whether the RSS actually follows up this matter or not, and what is the further development on this game of one-upmanship which has been going on for the last 1.5 years between the RSS leadership and Mr. Modi. This is basically a ploy by the RSS to somehow put the BJP leadership, the current leadership of Mr. Modi and his loyalists, in some kind of an odd spot.
Domestic allies, will Nitish Kumar's party or LJP, or for that matter even Chandrababu Naidu, will they be okay with these two words being removed? Can that become a big political flashpoint as far as the domestic politics is concerned? How would BJP balance all of this?
No, I don't think this is what I'm saying. It is not only going to find flack from the opposition parties, as it has already done. Several people, not just the Congress, but other parties have also responded in their own way, maybe not as stridently as the Congress leadership, either Mr. Kharge or as Rahul Gandhi, would have responded so far. The others have also come out in response to what Hosabale said. And
that is true secularism. Now, are Modi and Shah trying to define both these terms, secularism and socialism, in their own manner, and obviously which makes the party constitution, the BJP's constitution, look completely diminished and irrelevant?
Even the BJP under Advani and Vajpayee did the same thing. They said that, we are secular, and it would be repeatedly put, and this entire thing, that using the word panth in place of dharm, was done by Vajpayee. He would say, repeatedly, that we believe in, sarva panth. I'm forgetting the exact statement which he made, but basically saying that all panth, it's highly unlikely that we will have a new BJP president till before the next year, because if it is not done within the next few days, as is highly unlikely, because they have to complete a certain number of elections in the state units, and the process has just been initiated for few of the states just 2 or 3 days ago. So it is quite unlikely that it is going to happen overnight, and then immediately within the next few days, week, 10 days, it is going to lead to a BJP president being selected.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. RSS General Secretary Dattatreya Hosabale has fired the imagination of BJP leaders, and last week he demanded a review of the emergency era inclusion of socialist and secular in the preamble of India's constitution. Now, he was careful in framing his demand, though these ideas might have been part of governance and state policy, but they were not part of the original constitution. That's what Dattatreya Hosabale said. And he also said that these changes were made in the constitution when the parliament was ineffective, the judiciary was crippled, and citizens' rights were suspended. But what has happened is that this entire narrative has now become BJP constitution versus the preamble, because after Dattatreya Hosabale spoke about this issue, Jagdeep Dhankar came out in strong support of what Hosabale said, then Shivraj Singh Chauhan, then Jiten Singh, followed by Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, and also Devendra Fadnavis. In fact, everybody jumped in to support and carry forward Hosbale's demand for a review of the two words in the preamble. Now, the big question is that where is this leading BJP as far as the removal of these two words is concerned? If you remember, Supreme Court has also said that these two words cannot be repeated, or cannot be deleted from the constitution, or cannot be removed from the constitution. So why is Dattatreya Hosabale raking up this issue? Why did Dhankar and the likes of Devendra Fadnavis and Himanta Biswa Sarma come out in support? Is there a hidden agenda of the BJP? Joining me this evening is Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, veteran journalist, political commentator, and author, who joins us on this issue. Thank you so much, Nilanjan, for joining on HW News. My first question to you is that Dattatreya Hosabale repeats this fact that the word socialist and the secular should be removed. Then the BJP leaders come out in support, and the opposition turns the tables by saying that BJP constitution also has these two words enshrined. Now, has this issue really put BJP on the back foot now, especially after what Hosabale said and the way opposition reacted to it?
No, I think before getting into whether it has put the BJP on the back foot or not, we really have to understand as to why Mr. Hosabale has said something like this. We have to accept the fact that the RSS leaders do not make off-the-cuff remarks on things like that, on which are very important. So something on like this would definitely have been said by the RSS after some kind of a deliberation by Hosabale. Would have definitely had some kind of informal conversation that it's okay to rake up the issue at the moment. Now, as you rightly pointed out, that it has actually been backed by many people, including Jagdeep Dhankar, who is a lateral and a later entry into the Sangh Parivar ecosystem. We have to understand that he is not a homegrown RSS leader, somebody who has spent decades in the RSS and then gone into. He actually went through a string of political parties before actually currying favor with the BJP and then getting an appointment as the governor of West Bengal, from where he got a position to become the vice president. Dhankar backing something like this is possibly driven by the thinking that this is going to please people if he actually raises it, and it would possibly lend way to possible, being in the run for the next president of India when, President Murmu retires, when a term comes to an end. So that is the case, and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, I would say that, you have to look at him that he has been a kind of a challenger to Mr. Modi, even when he was trying to emerge from being a Gujarat chief minister. At that time also, Shivraj Singh Chauhan definitely is not part of the coterie around Mr. Modi. I do not think that Mr. Modi would be very happy with Mr. Hosabale making this statement at this particular moment. So I am going to be keeping a very close eye on whether the RSS actually follows up this matter or not, and what is the further development on this game of one-upmanship which has been going on for the last 1.5 years between the RSS leadership and Mr. Modi. So I would like to keep an eye on that and then see what is happening. We also have to understand that despite efforts, there is still no resolution of the fact that who is going to be the next BJP president. So there are multiple things to actually look at. I think that this is basically a ploy by the RSS to, somehow put the BJP leadership, the current leadership of Mr. Modi and his loyalists, in some kind of an odd spot. As you rightly pointed out, the BJP constitution also has these two words. In fact, just to put it on record, the BJP right in the beginning, has a clause. It starts the constitution by saying, what are the objectives? Why is the party being formed? Mind you, the party was formed in 1980, which is 4 years after these two words were included in the preamble of the constitution. At that point, this particular para is there, which needs to be read out. It says that the party shall bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, and to the principles of socialism, secularism, and democracy, and would uphold the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. Now, you have to understand that this was a party which was formed essentially sending the message that it was kind of stepping outside the Sangh Parivar. Mind you, the first time when the 1980, when the policy papers of the BJP were accepted, at the plenary session in Mumbai after its formation in April 1980, they decided to have Gandhian socialism, whatever it might have meant, as the main official principle of the party. It is only later on in 1986 that it went back to having integral humanism, which was a concept and a treatise which was presented by its president of the 1960s, the one of the tallest leaders, Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay. So Gandhian socialism was obviously something which was to say that we are very much part of the Indian framework. RSS had, and the Jansangh also, what was there, had links with various people with who were seen very suspiciously. It was also seen that possibly they do not owe allegiance to the constitution. So all that was put in this particular paragraph by the BJP, just to say that we are now just as mainstream as any other party. It was coming out of the Janata Party, which broke over the issue of dual membership, or that nobody of the Janata Party can continue.
Nilanjan, allow me to interrupt you. No, but this entire episode, how Hosabale talks about removing the two words of socialism and secularism, didn't Hosabale realize that the BJP's constitution has these two words? It will put BJP in an uncomfortable position. So, do you see this being done by Hosabale? As you said initially in your submission, that this was to put the BJP leadership in a tight spot. So does it not put the entire BJP on a sticky position? Because when the constitution of the party has these words enshrined, and then the leaders are talking about the removal from the constitution, it really raises some serious questions as to what BJP is thinking and what the BJP leaders are talking about.
I would say that many people, I'm not saying that Mr. Hosabale was not aware of what is written in the BJP constitution, but I would say that a large number of people, or many of the people who have supported the statement made by Mr. Hosabale, would not really be aware that it is there in the constitution, because who reads the constitution of a political party? It's only people like us who actually dig it out and then say, that it is there very much part of the BJP constitution. So possibly people like us take party constitutions more seriously than party leaders themselves. So that's the same case here. It's possibly something which I wouldn't say that the RSS General Secretary would be completely unaware of what the BJP constitution has. They would definitely be aware of that. Despite that, if that statement has been made, without any clarification as to why it has been made, we will have to make our own intelligent guesses, and partially we will understand by what is the further narrative on that. Whether Mr. Amit Shah or Mr. Modi himself, ever make a statement like that, would be something that has to be kept track.
No, but can this debate, Nilanjan, really lead to the BJP also rethinking about its constitution? Because I was just looking at Article 2 of the BJP constitution, and on the very first page, which says, and I'm going to quote what the party has written in its constitution, that the party shall bear true faith and allegiance to the principles of socialism, secularism, and democracy. So the question is that how can the leaders who are bound by the party constitution to bear allegiance to socialism and secularism want the same to be removed from the preamble of the constitution? So, and also if you look at the Panch Nishthas, or the 5 guiding principles of the BJP, they also include a lot of commitment to the Gandhian socialism, which it defines as a Gandhian approach to the socio-economic issues. So is BJP, does this episode give an indication that probably BJP might change its own constitution?
I don't think it will happen, because the BJP is not going to be declaring itself as a party which is not secular. Mind you, the entire BJP getting legitimacy happened through the 1980s in the course of the Ram Janmabhoomi agitation. Now, the moment the BJP picked up an issue, it was being initially pursued by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the RSS. So the moment it became a BJP issue also, that was in 1989, June 1989, where in the Palanpur national executive of the BJP, they adopted the resolution. My light will come back in just a few seconds. Thereafter, Mr. Advani kept on arguing that we are genuinely secular. It is only that the others are pseudo-seculars. So BJP is a genuinely secular party and creating a difference with pseudo-secular. So that being the argument, obviously the BJP cannot dump the word secularism either from its own constitution or lead a campaign to say that these two words should be struck off the Constitution of India, because then it is going to be, stated to be a party which has actually made statements in which they do not believe in. That Advani made all kinds of false statements.
But Nilanjan, in the Modi-Shah era, is BJP's constitution actually becoming so irrelevant? And obviously, till the time Amit Shah or the Prime Minister, they break their silence on the preamble review, basically it seems that this current debate will be confined only to Hosabale, and, they can just ingratiate themselves on what RSS leadership wants. So, until unless Modi and Amit Shah break the silence, the story is not going anywhere else.
No, I do not think that this is going to continue for long, because I do not think that Hosabale's statement is going to be followed up by anybody significant from the RSS. It is not going to be pursued. Various people who have said that is essentially with the idea that this possibly is not to the, great happiness of Mr. Modi and his loyal leaders in the party. They would definitely not be very happy with this, because it's just another issue which they could have avoided, especially at this time when India is so thoroughly isolated in the world. Just the mention, can you imagine if the Western press starts blowing it up that the RSS is signaling that India declares itself as a non-secular country, dump off the, strike off the word secularism from the constitution, which would make it a Hindu country. Now, all that, if it happens in the world at the moment, when amid so much of global isolation, then this is the worst thing that Mr. Modi would like to have happen at this particular time, especially when we are in such delicate times, in our negotiations with the US over trade issues, our isolation in the SCO, which has been seen on the basic fundamental issue of terrorism. So this is the time when India would want to put their best face forward. And that best face forward cannot be done by a parallel narrative or demand being made by the ideological fountainhead of the BJP, saying that secularism and socialism should be struck out of the constitution, that India is not a secular country. Striking it out would mean that we are not a secular country, and we are not committed to egalitarian policies, which is the basic core of Mr. Modi's welfareist policies.
No, but does it indicate then that the BJP will always remain at pains over this issue? Because if RSS keeps on breaking the issue, obviously BJP, Amit Shah and Modi won't be able to say anything because of the geopolitical compulsions and because of the pressure they are in. And also, why do we not, why are we forgetting the domestic allies? Will Nitish Kumar's party or LJP, or for that matter, even Chandrababu Naidu, will they be okay with these two words being removed? Can that become a big political flashpoint as far as the domestic politics is concerned? How would BJP balance all of this?
No, I don't think this is what I'm saying. It is not only going to find, flack from the opposition parties as it has already done. Several people, not just the Congress, but other parties have also responded in their own way, maybe not as stridently as the Congress leadership, either Mr. Kharge or as Rahul Gandhi, would have responded so far. The others have also come out in response to what Hosabale said, and quite critically. But I'm sure if this becomes a very serious move from within the BJP, the allies are going to be having problems. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually know that the allies have already reached out to Mr. Modi or his very important people around him to just check out that is this thing anything really serious, or this, or Mr. Hosabale has said it for internal intra-Sangh equations which are there, about which everybody within the NDA also knows. The NDA partners are aware about what is going on between the BJP and the RSS, that Mr. Modi-led BJP wants a certain amount of functional autonomy from the RSS. The RSS doesn't want it to give that autonomy. It definitely has seen itself as some kind of a presiding organization, which organizes these Samanvay Baitak. The very idea of Samanvay Baitak is basically that all affiliated organizations of the RSS get together in the room and talk about, common shared concerns and interests. That is the basic purpose. And whatever decisions they take, it is done in a certain amount of consultation with the affiliates, especially the RSS leadership. The message we are getting is that Mr. Modi clearly doesn't want that.
No, but I'm just thinking it loud that has this debate been deliberately raked up by the RSS also because of the fact that the BJP president still hasn't been elected or chosen? And when you talk about the constitution, then there is another instance, what the BJP constitution very clearly says, that no post will remain vacant for more than 6 months. And the party's national president's post has been vacant for exactly a year. And this is that the point which Dattatreya Hosabale was trying to ring home in? And that, people will start discussing the constitution, and then again, it will come back to the debate on when the BJP president's name will be declared. So is it to put pressure on the BJP so that the new BJP president can be elected soon?
As far as the BJP president is concerned, right from the beginning, let's look at it, go back to 2024. It was all very fine between the RSS and the BJP, and the Mr. Modi and the BJP when the Ram temple in Ayodhya was consecrated. At that particular time, everything was fine. But by February, when the campaign of Mr. Modi of the BJP started becoming highly personalized, when the slogan of Modi ki guarantee, was raised and floated around, and then the Ab ki baar 400 par, all that was being said, so it became a possibly more Modi-centric campaign than any of the previous ones, either in 2014 or in 2019. I'm talking about the parliamentary elections. So because of that, the RSS clearly decided not to actively campaign for the BJP, basically to send the message that if you think that you alone can take the guarantee of a victory, then we will show you what we are capable of. And RSS clearly sent the message that without active participation of the RSS network, the BJP failed to get a majority on its own. So thereafter, the efforts at a patch-up started, because after all, they are ideologically on the same side. So a lot of, you know, I would say there would have been a lot of informal parleys between various people reaching out. There wouldn't have been any discussion between Mr. Modi and Mr. Bhagwat on this issue, but basically at different levels. So eventually things started getting sorted out. In October, the RSS had an executive meeting at which they sent some more messages to Mr. Modi. That entire bit about Yogi Adityanath is not to be disturbed, because they made that statement, that what he said, that made that highly offensive statement, that katenge to batenge, batenge to katenge. That statement that was made, that was correct. So they actually said that making such a provocative statement was actually correct. So essentially sending a message that he has our backing. Obviously, as some kind of a countervailing force to Mr. Modi, we know that there was no love lost between Mr. Modi's followers and admirers and Yogi Adityanath. Eventually, things got sorted out, and finally, in March, Mr. Modi went to Nagpur. He went to the RSS, not the headquarters, but they went to the, that thing in where the memorial is there of Hedgewar, that building, had a meeting with Mr. Bhagwat, a one-on-one meeting. And this was followed by a public appearance where the two of them were there, and they spoke glowingly about each other. So it was some kind of an acceptance of the necessity of the other, that we need each other. So that was there. But thereafter, Pahalgam and Operation Sindoor, Mr. Modi felt that he is back to popularity, what he was prior to the RSS pulling out, all that, prior to 2024, all that was there. So he possibly thought that it's time for me to once again have the president of my choice. So the tussle continues and the post remains unfilled.
Right. But coming to the bit on how Modi sees secularism and socialism. Now, if you look at what he said in 2014, he said that we believe in Sarva Panth Sambhav. And he said that we are secular not because the word was added in our constitution, but secularism was in our blood. And then he says that he believes in Sarva Panth Sambhav. That is one thing. Then true secularism, what he says is that Modi guarantees 100% benefits of schemes to 100% beneficiaries. That is true social justice, and that is true secularism. Now, are Modi and Shah trying to define both these terms, secularism and socialism, in their own manner, and obviously which makes the party constitution, the BJP's constitution, look completely diminished and irrelevant?
Even the BJP under Advani and Vajpayee did the same thing. They said that, we are secular, and it would be repeatedly put, and this entire thing, that using the word panth in place of dharm, was done by Vajpayee. He would say, repeatedly, that we believe in, sarva panth. I'm forgetting the exact statement which he made, but basically saying that all panth, So, looking at it, religion and culture in the RSS thinking is actually very diffuse. It's very difficult to say where religion is there and where culture is there. The RSS viewpoint is that everybody in this country is a Hindu, irrespective of their faith. That you can believe in Islam, you can believe in Christianity, but you are primarily a Hindu. Culturally, you are a Hindu. That is the principle, that the principle of cultural nationalism comes from there. And even now they say that anybody in this country, everybody has to accept the fact that they are essentially Hindu people. So that is what is said. And as far as Mr. Modi's definition is concerned, he keeps on saying, that the proof that he is secular is that none of his schemes discriminate to people who have a different religious identity. That is what they say. But the issue of that whether the people from other religions have, lesser rights or the lesser power to question authority than those who are Hindus, is a different matter which he does not go into.
No, but what kind of a relationship, and this is my last question to you, that when Hosbale talks about the removal of the two words, socialism and secularism, and BJP and Amit Shah not saying much, does it bring out a chasm? Does it bring out a level of indifference between the two, whether that is RSS and Modi and Shah? Or we say that this particular statement coming from Hosbale is just seen as some kind of a balancing act. How does one see that in entirety? This issue being raked up, opposition lapping onto it and saying that, look at BJP's constitution, are they going to remove that? But how will Modi and Shah ultimately, at the end of the day, leverage this debate?
No, I think, the basic message, which is being sent by the RSS leadership, is that you have to have some kind of agreement on the BJP presidentship, because it has to be a consensual choice, because essentially if the BJP wants the support of the RSS, then the BJP also has to come under the chhatra chaya of the RSS to some extent. It cannot be a lone ranger, which is actually taking all the decisions on their own, as it has been going on since 2014 onward. Let me remind you that as far back as 2015, Mr. L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Shanta Kumar, Yashwant Sinha, he was still then in the BJP, had written that letter to the party president saying, that there should be greater amount of, inner party democracy. There should be certain amount of decentralization. That huge centralization has been there. So none of this has happened. The BJP was well known for its collegial style of functioning, but that doesn't exist at the moment. And I think this is best, represented by this manner in which the next BJP president's election has been stalled by Mr. Modi and his loyalists.
Have to wait and watch how this debate unfolds. But my last question to you on the BJP president pick, Nilanjan, how soon do you think that the party is going to have a new BJP president? Nobody knows. There's a lot of back and forth happening between RSS and the BJP. But how soon do you think the BJP president would be in place?
I think that the calendar at the moment is such that it's highly unlikely that we will have a new BJP president till before the next year, because if it is not done within the next few days, as is highly unlikely, because they have to complete a certain number of elections in the state units and the process has just been initiated for few of the states just 2 or 3 days ago. So it is quite unlikely that it is going to happen overnight and then immediately within the next few days, week, 10 days, it is going to lead to a BJP president being selected. So if it doesn't happen, in such so quickly, then it is going to be time for the monsoon session. It is going to be imminent of Parliament. So after monsoon session, it is going to be the Bihar elections, which will actually take the attention of everybody. And the argument it is going to be that you cannot have a new president right bang in the beginning of a electoral campaign. It is going to be disastrous. Old hands must continue in their position. Immediately after that, and once the results are declared, government formation is going to engage the party, regardless of the kind of verdict, whether it is in the NDA's favor or not. And thereafter, it is going to be again talk of the winter session. We really do not know how the monsoon session is going to go. After winter session, it ends, it's going to be end of the year. That is the time when,
next set of elections.
The next set of elections. So we really do not know that whether anybody can, really going to be elected before January and February. If I really have to place my bets, I think that we are unlikely to have a BJP president, not immediately.
So if the level of uncertainty is that long, so which means that Mr. JP Nadda will continue that long till the time the new BJP president is not in place. There's no point in removing JP Nadda from what he's doing, from the position where he's on.
He will have to continue at least in name six. Whether anything is being done by him or not is a different issue, and whether the BJP president has actually done anything, since the time Mr. Amit Shah, demitted the office in 2019 is a debatable point. Where has been the real president's office? Has it continued to be in Mr. Amit Shah's residence? Is something that is, open to question.
Mm. All right, so interesting turn of events there, but we'll have to wait and watch how things unfold on the BJP president bit. Thank you so much, Nilanjan, for joining on HW.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.